We're back with another classic here on the channel. It's watching the AI squander millions and millions of pounds. We've given the second tier of a nation a bumper TV deal. And today, we're off to Holland, which I think is a first for the channel. I don't think we've done anything with the second tier of the Dutch League. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, 20 teams in the Dutch second tier. 16 of them have a TV deal because these four are the reserve sides or the under 18s or whatever they call it. Jong is the second team for Ajax, RZ, PSV and Utrecht, obviously, as you can see there. So here are the teams, and if we just go to ADO Den Haag, £250 million individual TV deal. Runs for the entire year, renews, and it is fixed. So at £250 million every single year, that will keep coming through. And it will be the same for the entire division. We'll go and look at De Graafschap. And there you go. I'm not going to go through every single team because of, what's the point? You get the gist. It's the same for every single team in the league. And what we're going to watch is we're going to watch not only the Dutch second tier probably climb somewhat above 38th, the main Dutch league climb above 6th, and we're going to see this league get littered with noted teams. All these teams will be climbing up, signing players, and hopefully going on to win leagues and European trophies throughout the course of this experiment. So without further ado, let's jump through. We'll start off with 10 years. That should give them a good foothold into this experiment. We'll see how we're going from there. Apologies for sounding a bit weird this morning. I've got a bit of a sore throat and my nose is kind of blocked. So yeah, a bit of a cold, but it is mid-November. Expected. But I want to bring you guys the content. So, the Eredivisie is up in 5th, as you can see here. And look at this. ADO Den Haag, Dordrecht, Eindhoven and Willem II are all in the Dutch League. But there's not that many more. That's disappointing. That is disappointing. There's no third tier. Like VVV Venlo. Where's all their money? I'm not sure where all their money's gone. They're not spending it. And they've got the TV deal there. There you can see it. And for those of you who commented on a previous video saying, oh, the TV deal didn't start till much later, that's maybe why they didn't get any money. This changes every single year. So at the start, when we were last here, it was 2023 to 2024. When you do the renew income, it will renew the dates. So this will just change dates every single season. But it's weird that they've got no money whatsoever. So who went up first? So Willem II, they're in the Eredivisie. So let's have a look at how they've been getting on. Okay, so they've been up and down. They have been up and down. They've been finishing mid-table. Disappointed. How about ADO Den Haag? Okay, so they came up instantly, finishing 3rd, and then they went down once, but they've been lower mid-table. Again, there's not much money there. Is there loads of tax things happening in Holland? Is this what's going to happen? Is this today's experiment? We're going to watch nothing. Surely this money's got to come through and do something at some point. Patrick Vieira, and for some reason, Dordrecht have got 1.1 billion. So what on earth? When they've come up, and then they finished 5th and 8th in the last couple of seasons, but they've got 1 billion. So why have they got so much money all of a sudden? Eindhoven have got 666 million, devilish, and they've been finishing, 5th, 3rd, and 4th. So they've been pushing on for Champions League qualification. They're paying over 2 million a week in wages, right? Willem are paying 900,000. They've got 4.75 they can spend, over 100 million pound in the transfer budget, and they've been trying to spend reasonably big. We've just spent £97 million. Yeah. But they split it around on a lot of players. Look at this, like 16, 14, 11, 16 again. They bought him from Sparta Rotterdam. So some of the teams have no money. Like spending 139k a week on wages, £7 million in the bank. They have the TV deal. I mean, there's a mild debt. That debt started very recently. So they have the money coming in. I'm not sure. Maybe there's some sort of high dividend payout or something with this club. Because for ADO Den Haag to have nothing and Dordrecht to have 1.1 billion, well, doesn't really compute, does it? Doesn't really make sense. There's too much of a disparity there. So Eindhoven and Dordrecht have some money. Willem II they have 60 million in the bank, but they're paying £900,000 a week in wages. But it's not a lot. What's happening in the second tier then? Let's just have a quick look. De Graafschap are actually in debt. Timo Werner's in charge as well. Didn't expect that. He actually came to the Dutch second tier. Came to Fortuna Sittard, who are not one of our teams with all the money. God, he didn't score many goals, did he? God, did he really only score that many goals for Chelsea? Did he really only get 10 goals for Chelsea? I can see why they bought him. 28 in 34 for Leipzig in the Bundesliga. He'd come through and he'd done pretty well. I mean, yeah, admittedly 13 and 32 is not the greatest, but the other 3 seasons are pretty good. In 28 and 34, you think, right, this guy, he's arrived. Let's go and spend some money on him. They spent some money on him, and he scored 10 in 55 games. Emil Heskey numbers. So then we've got Den Bosch. They've got 1.404 billion in the bank. So they've got 6 million they can spend in wages, and they're spending 181,000 pounds. So they're not. Their season budget is a negative 500,000 pounds. They've got 1 billion in the bank. How long have you been in charge, Philip? Right, this is a red flag, Philip. Leave. Media predictions 14th. You've got £1 billion. FC Emmen are in debt. So there's just such a disparity going on here. Groningen, £4 million they've got. 1.1 billion for Helmand Sport. We literally are sitting here with £1 billion or nothing. There's no in between, apart from FC Eindhoven won 666 million. But that's because they're finishing quite high up the Dutch league. I think they're spending the biggest and most out of everyone, which is causing them to be a little bit worse off, like £300 million worse off. And that's understandable. Maastricht, £1 billion. £15 million for NAC Breda. Did I just see Wout Weghorst in charge? I did. Wout Weghorst is in charge of Maastricht. Roda JC, £1 billion. Canberra in debt. Telstar have got £880 million. Okay, so there's a bit of a difference here. They're spending £200,000 in wages, though. They must have been up. No, they've never been up. They've never finished higher than 4th. And they've been mid-table, really, throughout the entirety of it. So they've got one of the lesser high end of the money. Like, they haven't hit the billion. They're spending a lot on wages. They've got they've got a negative transfer budget. Again, another negative transfer budget and £1 billion for Topos. We've been on Venlo, haven't we? Yeah, they've got 700k. Again, why have they all got such negative transfer budgets? Am I missing something here? Like, is there something going wrong? Have I made a mistake? How have they all got negative transfer budgets, or is it just the game's glitched out on me? Let me know in the comments. So anyway, loads of money for loads of teams. Some of them have got nothing, but if they start to funnel that into transfer budget, then we're going to start to see some things happen, you would have thought. So we're 10 years in. Let's go another 10 years then. Okay, things are happening. FC Dordrecht, who I believe were up here last time, they've got £905 million in the bank now. I forget where they were. I forget where we were with some of these teams. So let's firstly just go back to the domestic leagues. So they were up here. They were one of the teams. Now, FC Eindhoven definitely did have some money. ADO Den Haag and VVV Venlo did not. So Eindhoven are there in 4th. They've got £650 million. They're spending over £4 million a week on wages now, as are Dordrecht. Willem 2, they're £41 million in the hole. Den Bosch have got £1 billion in the bank, spending £1 million a week on wages. Den Bosch have been up and they've been mid-table. NAC Breda have got no money and no budget, but they've managed to get themselves out of that division somehow. Topos have come up and gone straight back down. They've got £900 million basically, and they've got £200 million to spend. So they've actually got a transfer budget now. Oh my God. Do you know what? This game never ceases to amaze me. We all know that the AI can be a bit janky with the money and they can be a little bit haphazard with their spending. And you're like, oh, why are you spending so much money on him? Or why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Put it this way. If you were given such a bumper TV deal and you had all this money to spend, that would probably increase your targets in your season. And you'd probably have to go and spend excessively on players because you're like, oh, is he worth it? And you're thinking, well, we do need someone there, so I'm probably going to he's the best I can get. I'm probably going to have to get him. And yeah, oh God, I'm going to have to spend over on wages. But you've got the money, so you might as well just spend it. So admittedly, we wouldn't be as bad as the AI. I'll tell you that for free. We would not be as bad. That being said, I think we all do sit on our high horses and think we'd be infinitely better than we are. Or I think we would be a little bit shit. Because we do. We still make mistakes, don't we, in the transfer market? We still purchase players for overpriced, they underdeliver, and then you're overpaying on wages and you're like, why have I got this guy on this amount of money? You can't believe I've signed him. So we all are guilty of those mistakes, and I think we would be as guilty of making some of these mistakes as the AI, and we give the AI a terribly hard time. That being said, the game in this instance is giving some of the Dutch teams a load of money and some of them not at all. I don't understand why. Telstar, £1 billion, but no money. Is he still here? No, Filip Mladenovic has been... Oh, he's been around the houses. He's been around the houses here in Holland. He loves living in Holland, this Serbian. Yeah, so they had no money. VVV Venlo, they still have no money. Helmand Sport had £1 billion last time, and now they've got £267 million in the transfer budget, and they're spending 400k wages of nearly 7 million. So we're 20 years in, and what has happened? Well, in terms of past winners, let's have a quick look at the past winners then. So Willem 2 did actually win the league, despite having no money whatsoever. They've got themselves up there and won the Dutch league Fair play to them. Eindhoven and Dordrecht are the two teams. And in 2032-33, Dordrecht actually won Conference League, which we would have seen if we'd checked in on the Conference Leagues last time. I was too busy checking in the finances last time. Did not realise this. I think we're going to leave the finances from here. We probably will just check in and see who's got some money in terms of, oh, they've won. Oh, yeah, they've got money. Of course they have. And see how they're doing financially. And maybe look at some of their wages and their signings, etc. But I'm not going to keep harping on about teams that are just not getting the money, because what's the point? So, the Conference League. Dordrecht have won one of those. They've also won a Europa League. No one's won a Champions League yet, which I didn't expect, to be honest. And Dordrecht have won 2 Eredivisie. So they are winning the experiment so far. So let's have a quick look at the Dordrecht squad then. So in terms of their squad, current ability, wow. They've got 3 unbelievably good goalkeepers. I mean, they've got 154 as an emergency backup. You've got 155 as a backup on 200k a week. And you've got Joaquim Gamero, who they bought for £36.5 million. He wants to move to a bigger club, but he is on £245,000 a week. He's on a 187. Fabian Checker, free from Bayern Munich, paying £275,000 a week. A 172 player who is a professional, who's got a personality type that is insane. He is a very, very, very good player. Signing for free, paying all that money for him. He's got 7s every single season. He's just been player of the year, and he's a 172. Chancel Banza, £59 million from Chelsea, 90k a week. He is, his personality's not great. His attributes are pretty good. He came on loan, and then they've turned his loan permanent for £59 million. Now, that is very recently at 31 years old. Well, 30 would have been. Not a big fan of that signing. Not a big fan. Sorry, Dordrecht. You are winning the league, so who am I to judge? But they've got loads of players in the 150s. I'm not going to go through every single player now, but they have got a lot in the 150s, or they are aging a little bit. Let's quick look at Eindhoven, just to see how they're doing. So, they've been 2nd, 3rd and 4th, basically since we were last here. They've been 2nd, 3rd and 4th since before we were last here, actually. So, they've been doing very well indeed. They've just never actually won the league. Never actually got to the top. The big one. Bryce Ayuk is their key man. 1.2 million from Changchun. He's wanted by Chelsea. He's only on £32,000 a week. So that, my friends, is an amazing signing. A very cheap, very reasonable signing. Denis Davidov, £23 million from Shakhtar. He's on 250k a week. He's probably slightly overpaid for 159, but not too bad. But as you can see here, they've got pretty solid 150s and 140s here. So they're quite consistent with it. And they're paying £300,000 a week for this goalkeeper who's a backup. He has played a lot for them, though. I wonder if they've just signed this guy. Yes, they have. They've just signed him from RZ, £23.5 million. And he's probably just come in and started playing this season. So he was the first choice goalkeeper. I still played quite a bit this season, to be fair. I mean, they're paying £400,000 a week for this guy. Oh, they've only just signed him. They've just signed this guy. Okay, that's a mistake. £400,000 a week. He's fickle. He's 30, and he's a bit shit. But we've started to take over the top league. Some of the teams with money are getting in there, and some of the teams with money are staying in there, and they're actually in the top echelon of the league. We've seen Eindhoven in their worst place position for the last decade. They've done it a few times, but 4th is the worst they've done in the last decade. 3rd and 2nd very regularly. Dordrecht have won it twice, and Dordrecht have won some European trophies. So another 10 years and things should really start to be shaking up. Eredivisie is back in 6th, which is not great, is it? Not great at all. There you go. 4 teams making the top 4, sorry. FC Emmen are going down, unfortunately. That's disappointing. Go to JC Kerkrade. They are also getting relegated with £1 billion. Willem 2, well, they don't have any money, do they? They've got -8 million in the transfer budget. Telstar, £1 billion. They're mid-table. Helmond Sport, Rasheen van Langen with a fabulous haircut and £900 million in the bank. FC Eindhoven, less than 400 million in the bank now. FC Den Bosch, 800 million. And Dordrecht, the team of the experiment, who've got Rocco Wright. I think he was in charge of Willem too, wasn't he, last time? So he's come and took over here 5 years ago, and he's actually won quite a few things. This guy was sacked, Joey Palupasi. He's gone to Chelsea. He's won quite a lot of trophies with them, so I do feel like it was very unfortunate. I mean, he's probably been sacked here. Oh yeah, it was 5 years ago, wasn't it? So yeah, he got sacked in this season, so we're probably doing really badly. I mean, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row, 6 in 7 years, then finishing 3rd, I think you've probably got to let him go. Not let him go. I think you've got to give him a pass, haven't you? And say, you've done really well for us. Bring it back next season. A couple of second places. Eindhoven actually got their first win, and then Dordrecht have won another 3. So in terms of winning, it's just Dordrecht, Willem II and Eindhoven. They've won 9 since the start of this experiment. They've got £500 million in the bank. They've got loads of money to spend. So we're going to check in on Dordrecht's squad because these are the best team. And any anomalies in terms of the wages? I wouldn't say so. I mean, they're spending quite big on quite a lot of players, but you have to. It's all relative. There's no one who's like really far down the squad who's getting an insane amount of money. I mean, this guy, David Pedras, but that's because Dean Graves is only getting £26,000 a week. He's actually underpaid. How are they only paying him £26,000 a week when you've got David Pedras who's on 300,000? This guy's a top earner, £25 million from Copenhagen. Adam Eck was a £79 million signing from Manchester United. He was actually here to begin with. We signed him from Malmo for £11.5 million, sold him for £135 million to Bayern Munich. He underwhelmed at Bayern, got sold to United for £63 million. He did okay-ish for United, but then from January, he probably wasn't playing enough, probably put himself on the transfer list, and we came back for him. The prodigal son returns. This guy was signed for £3.6 million, and he is our key player. He's been here for many, many years, so fair play. We're doing pretty well in the transfer market, doing pretty well indeed. In terms of European success, though, no more for Dordrecht. We just have one for FC Eindhoven. That's a Conference League win. In terms of Europa League, well, we've had nothing other than runner-up positions. And Champions Leagues, absolutely nothing. And I don't think we're going to get any Champions League wins, especially considering that even some of the teams with money are not really kicking on and spending massively in this Dutch league. There's been a very weird dynamic going on, a very weird dynamic indeed. I mean, De Graafschap have got £1.26 billion and they're finishing at the bottom of the second division, or near the bottom. I mean, they can't get relegated because there is no lower division, but mental. But we are starting to take over this top division. As you can see, there's quite a few teams here. I mean, 2 of them are going down, but there should be another 10 to 2063. Right, we're still 6th in terms of the Eredivisie. Helmond Sport have just won it on goal difference, and 3 teams are on 69 points and 1 on 68. So what a tight end to the season it was. Now, we're 10 years further on, and I'm not seeing too much difference in this top division. I mean, Ajax are down here, of course. I'm not sure where PSV are. PSV gone down. Anyway, Helmond Sport have won it. They've got £500 million in the bank. Ruud de Man is in charge. Was he in charge last time at Old Rasheen? No, he's just come in. So where was he before? Willem II or Helmond Sport? It was Helmond Sport we were last saw him, I'm sure, because we saw him somewhere, didn't we? He must have been at Helmond Sport. Anyway, Ruud de Man is in charge of Helmond Sport now, and he's won them their first trophies. He's won the league and the cup. Won the cup 3 years ago, and then he's won the league most recently. Now, in other videos, I have put a call out for everyone to send me your favourite regen names. Send them me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Now, DM or message, that's fine. If you can, please include a screenshot, because I'm loving some of these names that I'm getting over, and I want to create a video which is some of your best regen names. Now, any sort of little information on this regen name would be brilliant. So a little bit of backstory. Were they good? Did you buy them? Were they a flop? Like anything you've got, I'll include that in the video. And if you've got their attributes as well to look at, all the better. So send me a screenshot of your best regens. Anyway, public service announcement done. Helmond Sport have won the league. So Dordrecht, they've got £270 million in the bank. They're spending over £5 million a week on wages. Pablo Badnar is their best player at 176. He's on £425,000 a week, and he was signed for just £12 million. So they're being very shrewd in the transfer market. They're not really spending like £80 million on a player that's just crap. Or I've not seen it anyway. They spent £104 million on this guy, but they bought him how many years ago? Like 6 years ago. He was, what, 24? That's a perfectly reasonable transfer fee, in my opinion. Look at how good he is. £104 million for him 6 years ago. Absolutely fine, in my opinion. Bargain for this guy, Mikkel Pedersen. £69 million from Telstar. He's 24 years old. Eligibility of 186, so he's not made it. And will he make it? He might, but he also might not. But it has been the Dordrecht show once again. Eindhoven have snuck another one in the last decade, and Helmond Sport most recently. And to be honest, Dordrecht finishing in 4th. Their manager, Ruben Surian. Oh, he's the new manager. Yeah, Rocco writes, he's been here for 14 years. He's won 11 leagues in 14 years. Look at this for a name. Rude Brood. Yeah, I've just said it before, but honestly, semi-regen names, because there's always some great ones, and I do always have good fun looking at good regen names. So, yeah, do get him sent. Patrick Vieira, he's been here for 2 spells at Dordrecht in the 30s and in the 40s. Anyway, Rocco Wright got sacked after all that success, all those cup wins, all those league wins, and he finished 4th one season. In a season that was so tight. Like, how harsh is that? When did he get sacked? 22nd of the 5th. Right, that was after their final game. Admittedly, they did go on a tear and win the last 5 games, so they did actually close this gap up. But when you finish 1 point behind the league leaders and 3 teams finish above you, all on the same points, and you're 1 point off the pace, that, to me, that's unlucky. That does not constitute a sacking, especially after 14 years of overwhelming success. So that's really annoyed me. Dordrecht, I hope you crash and burn now. In terms of conference leagues, well, RZ have won one, but no one else has won a conference league from the second tier. But talking about Europa Leagues, well, FC Den Bosch have won 2 Europa Leagues. Torsten Fruchtel is in charge, and they've got 370 odd million pounds in the bank, spending about £5 million on players. So they've got 2 European trophies to their name, which is very, very weird, considering they've not done anything in the league. They are third, though, this season. And yeah, no one's won anything in the Champions League. And again, that's to be expected. Now, the thing is, right, the competition reputation is sick. And so 4 teams are qualifying for the UEFA Champions League phase. 2 for the Europa League, 1 for the Conference League. They got the winner of the Dutch Cup. Anyway, need to look at the coefficient places, really, don't we? But I can't work out where to find it. So anyway, Dordrecht have got a new manager because they've sacked their manager after 14 years of consistent success. I think that's disgusting. Let's hope they do fall, crash and burn. We've got about 100 years to go through in this experiment, only 40 years in, and we're sort of seeing the lay of the land at this juncture. So we're going to do 2 more jumps. We're going to do 30 more years from here. So we're going to go to 2093, and then we'll do the final jumps. This will be the penultimate jump. This will be quite a big one, but I want to get to the end of it, so let's crack on. Okay, so Telstar have won, and they've won a few in recent times. Dordrecht and Den Bosch and Eindhoven are still up there. Maastricht and Topos are there. Helmond Sport, previous winners. Go to JC, winning something to get in the Europa League. De Graafschap down here. De Graafschap, finally. They're £11 million in the hole. They had £1 billion to begin with. How have they got £11 million in debt? They had over £1 billion last time we were here, 30 years ago. Still got the TV deal. Whatever. Don't even let they can blame it on the stadium. This was built in 2034. Oh, right, past winners then. So the last 30 years, it's been well, Helmond Sport won, and it's been Den Bosch, Eindhoven, and Dordrecht. I mean, realistically, Dordrecht have finished third a couple of times here. I reckon they probably got rid of their manager. And Dominic Fink did get sacked. Bart van der Beek retired after 17 years. I can see a Champions League win. Right, we finally started to make some moves in Champions Leagues. The Conference Leagues then. So in the last 30 years, we have had Den Bosch, Telstar, Maastricht with 2, and Helmond Sport again. I say Helmond Sport again. They haven't already won it. So that Helmond Sport for the first time, should I say. So there we go then. That's the Conference League. So winning a few. Den Bosch and Helmond Sport have both won a Conference League. Europa League. I'm all over the place now. Maastricht, runners up, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And Champions League, Dordrecht with 2. And 2 runners up. Yep, so best facilities, over £200 million in the bank. They're really making the money work for them. Spending a hell of a lot on wages as per previously. But look at this. They've got Corentin Gullit, who they bought for £24 million. He's resolute. He's 33. He's been here for a long, long time. He probably did get to 196, considering he got 20 professionalism. 6 loyalty, and he stayed here all that time. Money talks, eh? Johannes Solberg, 3.3 million. He's on a hell of a wedge, but again, he's a hell of a player, 180. Another 20 professionalism again. Rodrigo Fernandez, probably got 20 professionalism knowing him. No, just 8. Just 8. Did hit his potential of 179 though. Signed for £52 million from Barcelona. Oscar Solly Lindskog, fantastic name, £8.75 million from Molde. So these transfer fees still are fine. Like, they're not too bad, are they? Like, they're doing all right. They're not overspending massively. They're not spending like £75 million on a player that is worth like 15 million. Because we do see that. I've not seen that at all in this experiment. We have gone through quite a lot of transfers. We've seen some decent signings and big signings and like big money. But I think they've been worth it. They're signings I would definitely make. So there you go. Telstar have won a few in recent times. Let's have a quick look at their squad. You've got Arjan Driesen, 12.5 million from San Jose. He's a very, very good player. Dan Washington, from LA Galaxy. God, he's fantastic, isn't he? Look at that. Woo. 6.25. Yeah, again, Telstar's signings of all. I mean, £29 million is the biggest one I've seen so far from Real Madrid. And he's a player that's got 179 potential. He's been here a good few years. He probably would have been here for a hell of a long time and probably got there. Again, £29 million from Braga for your Osman. He looks the worst, but he's still in the 170s. He's got very, very well-rounded attributes. His polygon doesn't look great, but that's deceivingly bad because look at him. He's fantastic. Maybe a bit slow for a winger, but anyway, so we've got European wins. We have got a lot going on in terms of European wins. We've won Conference Leagues, Europa Leagues, and we won a couple of Champions Leagues. We are second in terms of competition reputation. There we go. So we are now second in the extra coefficient place, and we are second in terms of coefficients overall. And this is what people want me to be looking at when I look at competition reputation. So coefficients and competition reputation are both second for Netherlands. So we have infiltrated not only that top 5, but that top 3. Of course, we're still behind England, and it's not loaded. So I don't know whether that will change or that will remain. But we've got another 30 odd years. Let's go to the end of this experiment. Can someone else apart from Dordrecht win Champions League? And can some of these teams down here get up and stay up? I just don't get it. Why have some of them not got money? Why have some of them not got any money? And then why have all of a sudden have De Graafschap got no money when they did have money? I've got no words. I have no words at all. Let's go to the end of this experiment. Now it's 2132, so we've actually come nearly 40 years over the last sort of period. And look at that, FC Dordrecht down in 5th, getting Champions League football. We are 3rd in terms of competition reputation. The nation club coefficients are also 3rd, but the nation coefficient place for the extra team we're in 2nd. So yeah, Spain are top, England are in 2nd here, although the Bundesliga is 2nd and England are top of the reputation charts. Anyway, FC Den Bosch seem to have been on a bit of a tear in recent years. Let's go back 40 years then. We were last here in the 90s, where Telstar had won actually. Then Dordrecht had won 2 either side. Then Den Bosch went on a 5-year winning streak. RZ out of nowhere. Dordrecht, Telstar. 2 more Den Bosch, 2 more Telstar. Maastricht, Dordrecht with a couple, and then Helmond Sport have won another couple over the years. Then it's become the Den Bosch show, and Den Bosch have been top of the pile and the best team for quite a while. So £1 billion in the bank for them. Their best player is Tamis Talek, who was signed for £55 million from Al Fatah. He's on £725,000 a week, which is a lot. But a 183 player, I guess it's all relative. If you're paying that much for some of your players, you want to pay the most for the best. To be honest, that is disproportionate for everyone else. I mean, the highest next value is like 375. And we've got a few in there, like 300s and 275s and 375s, 350s. But then they just seem to drop. Like this guy here, he's on 25k a week. How have you got him on 25k a week? Unbelievable. Ladji Loppy, the great name. Nearly on more money than the first choice goalkeeper. Den Bosch have taken over in recent years. In terms of Europe, in the Conference League, have we got any wins? Well, we certainly do. Topos, Roda JC Kerkrade, 3 for them. Dordrecht, Topos and Dordrecht, back to back. Topos again. So 2 wins in the Conference League for Dordrecht. I think that's a bit of a step down for them, really. And in terms of Europa Leagues, well, Roda JC Kerkrade beating Maastricht in the final. Den Bosch in the 21-08-09 season, and Telstar most recently current Europa League winners. So not many Europa Leagues and just one more Champions League. It was Dordrecht again, and do you know, Dordrecht are the only team to even get to a final. Winners and runner-up. So this team has won the experiment over 100 years. They've won 45 league titles. They've won 3 Champions Leagues. They won Europa League. They won a few Conference Leagues. They've got nearly £1 billion in the bank. They're only spending half of their current wages, which I think is mental. Why are they spending half of their current wages? Did they just let a load of players go or something? And they've just sold this guy to AC Milan for over £100 million. I think that's a good sale, personally. They sold £249 million worth of players here and never got anyone else in. Have they had a bit of a rebuild, Dordrecht? Bit of a weird one. Who didn't make it then? Who hasn't made it? Right, so NAC Breda, they were up at one point. Let's have a quick look at their competitions and their history. So they were up in the Eredivisie for 13 seasons. Any advance on 13 seasons, that's pretty bad. Well, VVV Venlo can raise that with 3. So VVV Venlo have done the worst of the experiment so far. ADO Den Haag, well, they were in there. Oh yeah, they've easily done better than Venlo. Oh, they were up for quite a while. One of the originators, no less. Don't know if I ever saw FC Canberra in there. We did not. They stayed in this division for the entire experiment. So there we go. SC Canberra are worse than VVV Venlo. Groningen, I'm pretty certain they were up there at one point. Yeah, there's one season. Oh, yeah, one season. Bloody hell. Some teams literally did nothing. And De Graafschap, they're going back up. Again, they've got no money, but they did have money. Like, I'm going to leave it. That's it. I'm done. Netherlands, have they won anything internationally? Yes, they have, actually. They've won 3 Euros. Wales have won one over here. Wales are the weirdest. Look at this, 3 in a row for Spain, then 3 in a row for England. Golden Generations, 2 in a row for England most recently. Have we got any World Cups? Spain have. Oh, Spain have won loads of World Cups. Yes, Netherlands have won a couple of World Cups here. USA won one. Croatia, Wales again, 3 in a row for England. Netherlands back here in 2034 as well. And despite the fact we've not done anything with the youth rating, it's all been about the money. 3 Euros, 3 World Cups, was it? Yeah. So not too bad internationally, but it's not what we did it for. I hope you enjoyed this one. Nice little bit of fun one. If you've got any nations or leagues you want me to try this with, let me know. Any ideas why some of the finances were very weird in this one, again, let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.